You're watching MMA Odds Breaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That's Eric Davila, the big head, as we like to call him. Honestly, I should start to record a lot earlier because I asked you, you haven't fought since last year, February 2012, and I kind of asked you on the slide, like, what happened? Because now we're coming up on August before you fight in Legacy of 2013. And I was like, what happened? You were like, oh, I was just, taking care of the gym, taking care of my guys. I was like, okay, I didn't want to, I didn't know if you were in jail for armed robbery. And your comment was, not all us Mexicans are armed robbers. Some of you are drivers. Some of you got to drive away from the scene too. That's just kind of how it works.
I mean, there's a lot of us with our CDLs too. So
Smart, very smart. So what was it? What were you doing since February? I mean, like you really haven't fought since your loss to Gerald Harris back in Legacy in February 24th of 2012. This is now August of 2013. The gym and your guys took up that much of your time. You couldn't get another fight in.
actually, no. I was out there. Me and my wife. My wife has helped manage me for all these years, and we had put my name out there with different promotions. We also been working, with Brian Hamper from Blue Chip Management, and he just couldn't find me a fight, man. Nobody who wanted to take it or wanted to take a chance on it, or I don't know. We just weren't getting any feedback for guys who sat there and said, yeah, I'll go ahead and fight Big Head for so and so or whatever. So
Yeah, it's got to be tough, And when I commentated on your fights in Legacy, you had half the crowd was your guys. Whether you had another guy on the fight card or not, but every time that you fight, you bring a huge amount of fans to the event. Is that one of the reasons why places like Legacy want to bring you in because you always have so many fans that follow you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love the reason I do this, man. Like I said, is for the family and for the fans. I mean, it was never for anything personal, and I think that's why I attract so many of the fans. Plus, my fight style. I like to put on shows. I'm not a boring guy. I don't do a ground thing all day. I like to stand up and put on a show for everybody. And I'm not the biggest welterweight. So I mean, when I go in there, it's just I'm pretty much the underdog every single time I go in there.
You get ready to fight Artenis Young coming up here on August 23rd at LFC 22. Is Artenis different than anything else you've seen? He's 9-5, but you're 20-12. You've seen a lot more competition than he has. Does he bring anything that's new that you haven't seen yet?
No, not really. Artenis is, he's a long guy. He's tall. It's not going to be anything different than, I've fought guys as big as him like Douglas Lima, who's, Douglas is wrecking shop in Bellator right now. And, I almost finished Douglas, but, he caught me in an armbar in the third at Ring of Fire. Yep. It's just, I don't see him bringing in anything new that I haven't seen before. I fought 185, and those guys are a lot bigger than Artinius. So, I fought like Andrade and just big monsters, and Gerald's big too. I mean, so it's not going to be nothing new that I haven't seen before.
What's Artenis do? Like, what is he fast? Is he quick on his feet? Is he a quick submission guy? Like, what is his style? If you had to explain it to somebody else.
He's pretty much thinks he's the Muhammad Ali of MMA. He likes to play the rope-a-dope and run around and try to go. He calls himself the machine gun because he thinks his hands are as fast as a machine gun. But I don't think they're that fast. But that's his style. He's real long. To get to the inside of Artinius, his takedown defense is somewhat good. So I don't know if I'm going to want to try to take him down too much. It's kind of like, I think you commentated the Cisney fight, and you were saying on there that I was doing everything wrong because I wasn't trying to take down Cisney, but Cisney was a striker, and I knew that he had some jiu-jitsu background from Houston, so I knew that in the third round he wasn't going to be able to take the pressure of the stand-up going on and on and on, and by the third round he was gassed.
Yeah, so, and you end up TKOing him right in the first minute of the third round. Like you end up smacking him out, and I was completely surprised because for me, looking at it, was the wrong game plan. You should have been taking him down or holding him down and kind of beating him up, but you knew better than I did how he was going to function. Does that happen a lot where the commentators don't quite grab onto what you're doing? Because you seem to win a lot of times. We don't expect you to win because you have a smarter game plan than even we have.
Well, of course, it's just kind of like with Gerald. I don't claim that myself as the best wrestler in the world or that I'm great at takedowns or anything. But that is really what I initially started. It was with wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I mean, I did that for the first 15 years of my fight, was pound and submission. And then, I know guys like Gerald, who were great wrestlers. I mean, that's his game plan. He's a monster. He's strong. Of course, when I fought Gerald, it was just a little too late. Almost had him in the third. I dropped him twice in the third and just didn't finish him and ran out of time. But, that was my game plan with Gerald, but that was 24-hour type thing with him. So, with Disney, he was bigger than me also. I mean, like I said, I'm not big. I'm not a big kid. I'm not a big 70. People be contemplating me going down to 55, but that's a tough cut for me. I've never done it, and I haven't been there since ninth grade, maybe. So, who knows?
That's a long way down going down to 55. That's a long way down for you. Like, I can't. And there's just to think, your head won't shrink, but your body will. So you have, like, you think your head's big now. Your head will be 4 times the size if you're down at 55, because it'll be like a parrot with a big beak and a little body.
Yeah, I'd be a life-size bobblehead.
All right, last question before we let you out of here. You're 36, okay, and you're how much longer do you plan on fighting? A lot of guys are getting out at this stage of the game. They're already getting out of the game. Just a couple other guys are hanging on a little bit too long. They're sitting around to their 40, 41. What's your game plan what's your exit strategy?
40, 41. The honest truth, I'm taking it 1 year at a time. My gyms are in my students are really what I'm looking at. I want to compete, never past 40. I don't want to go past 40. Who knows? It may end next year, maybe the year after that. I'm not too sure, but not past 40. I've worked on my coaching skills, my teaching skills, and trying to get these guys, to the UFC levels and the bigger performances, like Joseph Sandoval. He's my first one that I've got to the UFC. Of course, his stint wasn't well, but he got there. He got to the pinnacle of our sport. And, I have, guys that are going to be on this card. I got 6 others that are on this card that have tremendous talent. And, all they need is guidance and guys who, somebody, a coach that's been there and been through the good and been through the bad and been around for years so I can point them in the right direction.
Beautiful. That's Eric Big Head Davila. Good luck in LFC 22. It's going to be a good card. Mick Maynard always seems to put on a good card, and you and Ernest Young is going to be a good fight. I do think his length will give you a little bit of a problem till you finally get your nose right in the middle of his chest. And then once you get inside there, I don't think he can do anything to you once you get on the inside.
I think he'll give me somewhat of a problem at the beginning because he's always got a lot more fire in his step on the first round. But he tends to slow down a lot at the end of the first. I mean, his Bellator performance wasn't too well. He gassed in that one with the guy at the same height as me. But the guy he fought didn't have near the punching power or the quickness that I have to get to the inside. And that other guy he fought on there, well, rumors had it that Argentinians had his stomach bug, he was sick. We all have bad performances, and I understand that. But I still don't think that he's gonna hold up that long with me.
All right, Eric. Thanks for taking some time to come out here. Yeah, I agree. Actually, I agree with that assessment. That's actually pretty good. Thanks for coming out to MMA Odds Breaker. Good luck out there on August 23rd at LFC 22. And we'll talk to you soon, bud.